The cargo ship Darkwind pulled into dock at Nexus Station Omega-7 with a low rumble that shook the metal walls. Inside the ship's dark cargo hold, something big moved in the shadows. Yellow eyes opened in the darkness, watching the docking lights. Flashed through a small window. Kilthera stretched his long, scaled arms and felt his razor-sharp claws scratch against the metal floor. He was 7 feet tall, with dark green skin that looked like tree bark. His body was built for killing, strong legs for jumping, long arms for grabbing, and teeth that could bite through steel. On his homeworld of Vorthok Prime, he was the best hunter of his clan, but home had become boring. Every animal on Vorthok Prime knew to fear the Vorthok people. The hunt was too easy now. Kilthara wanted something new, something that would make his blood sing with excitement again. That's why he had come to Nexus Station Omega-7. The space station was huge, spinning slowly in the darkness between stars. It was home to thousands of different alien species, all living and working together. Traders came here to buy and sell goods from across the galaxy, but Kilthara wasn't here to trade. He was here to hunt. The cargo ship's doors opened with a hiss. Cold air rushed in, carrying strange smells from the station. Kiltharas's nose twitched as he breathed in the scents of 100 different species. His hunting instincts woke up like a fire in his chest. He walked out of the ship and onto the station's main deck. The place was busy with activity. Tall, thin aliens with blue skin carried boxes on their heads. Small, furry creatures with 6 legs scurried between the bigger aliens' feet. Robot-like beings with glowing red eyes moved cargo with their metal. Arms Kilthara smiled, showing his sharp teeth. So many different prey animals all in one place. This would be the greatest hunt of his life. He walked through the station's corridors, his yellow eyes studying everything. The walls were made of gray metal with pipes and wires running along the ceiling. Bright lights made everything look white and clean. Air smelled like metal and electricity. Other aliens gave him space as he walked past. He could sense the danger in him. The Vorthok people were known across the galaxy as the ultimate hunters. No species had ever escaped when a Vorthok decided to hunt them. Kilthara found a quiet spot near some maintenance tunnels and sat down to watch. He needed to study his prey before he struck. That was the first rule of hunting: know your target. He watched the insect-like klaxons click and buzz as they talked to each other. Their bodies were covered in hard shell, but Kilthara could see weak spots at their joints. Easy targets. The Zephyrians floated past like ghosts, their see-through, bodies glowing with soft light. They looked beautiful, but Kilthara knew they were weak. One good hit would shatter them like glass. The Nexari interested him more. They were part alien, part machine, with metal arms and glowing computer eyes. They might be stronger than the others, but even they had soft spots where flesh met metal. But then Kilthara saw something that made him pause. A group of strange creatures walked past. They looked soft and weak, with pink skin and small teeth. They had no claws, no fangs, no natural weapons at all. But something about them was different. They moved with purpose, not fear. When other aliens saw them coming, they stepped aside with respect, not terror. These creatures, humans, he heard someone call them, didn't act like prey. One of the humans stopped near Kilthara. He was a young male with dark hair and kind eyes. He wore a blue uniform that said maintenance on the chest. His name tag read HYU Unwu. Hyunwoo knelt down and opened a metal panel on the wall. Inside were colorful wires and blinking lights. He pulled out a small tool and began working on something. His hands moved with calm precision, not shaking at all. Kacher watched with interest. The humans seemed completely unaware of the danger sitting just a few feet away. Any smart prey animal would have sensed the hunter and run. But this human just kept working, humming a quiet song to himself. Another human approached. This one was a female with short black hair and a security uniform. Her name tag said Giwan. "Hey, Hyunwoo," Giwan said. "How's the repair work going?" "Almost done," Hyunwoo replied without looking up. "Just need to replace this power coupling. The old one was overheating." Good Minho wants the power restored to Section C by tonight. The Klaxon traders are complaining about the lights flickering in their shops. Hyenwu nodded. No problem. I'll have it fixed in 20 minutes. Juan smiled and walked away. Hyenwu went back to his work, still humming that quiet song. Kilthera found himself confused. These humans acted so calm, so fearless. They didn't seem to understand that they were surrounded by predators. The station was full of species that could kill them easily, including himself. Yet they walked around like they owned the place. They spoke to each other with easy confidence. They didn't jump at shadows or check over their shoulders. It was like they had no survival instincts at all. A new smell caught Kilthera's attention. Food. His stomach growled. He hadn't eaten since leaving his ship. He followed the smell to a large room filled with tables and chairs. A restaurant. He realized, behind a long counter, another human was working. This one was older, with gray hair and strong hands. His name tag read Tae-young head chef. He was cutting up the body of some alien creature, preparing it for cooking. Kilthera watched Tae-young work. The human held his knife like a weapon, cutting with perfect precision. Every slice was clean and exact. He broke down the alien carcass with the skill of a master. Butcher, but it was the human's eyes that caught Kilthera's attention. They were focused and calm like a predator studying its prey. This wasn't just cooking, this was the work of someone who understood death. For the first time in his life, Kilthera felt something he had never felt before while hunting. He felt uncertain. These humans were strange. They looked weak, but they acted strong. They had no natural weapons, but they moved with confidence. They were surrounded by danger, but they showed no fear. Kilthera decided he needed to learn more about these creatures before he chose his first target. Something told him that hunting humans might not be as easy as he thought. He settled back into the shadows to watch and wait. The hunt was about to begin, but first he needed to understand what he was really hunting. Kilthera spent the next day watching the humans from the shadows. He moved through the station's air vents and maintenance tunnels, places where other species never went. His natural stealth abilities made him invisible to most creatures, but he wanted to be extra careful. The humans fascinated him in a way that no prey had ever done before. He followed Hyenwu through his daily work routine. The human maintenance worker went to different parts of the station, fixing broken things. Kilthera watched him repair a water recycler in the Klaxon section. The insect-like aliens stayed far away while Hyenwu worked, afraid of the dangerous chemicals inside the machine, but Hyenwu showed no fear. He opened the machine and stuck his hands inside, even though one wrong move could burn his skin off. His face stayed calm and focused. He worked like someone who had done dangerous things many times before. Later, Kilthera saw something that made him think even more. A female human named Do-yoon was working in the science lab. She wore a white coat and had long black hair tied back. Name tag said head of xenobiology. Do-yoon was studying a small creature in a glass box. The creature was from the poison swamps of Zarian-4. Kilthera knew about these animals. Their bite could kill a full-grown Vorthok in minutes. Most aliens wouldn't even be in the same room as one. But Do-yoon opened the box and picked up the creature with her bare hands. She examined it closely, looking at its teeth and claws. The poison animal tried to bite her, but she moved her fingers away without panic. She was faster than the creature, and she knew exactly how it would attack. Interesting, Do-yoon said to herself. The venom sacs are larger than I expected. She put the creature back in its box and made notes on a computer. To her, the deadly animal was just another thing to study. Kilthera had never seen anything like it. That evening, Kilthera went to the cantina where Tae-young worked. The human chef was preparing dinner for the station's residents. Kilthera hid in the air vent above the kitchen and watched. Tae-young was cutting up a Nexoride battle beast. The creature was dead, but its body was still dangerous. The meat was full of metal spikes that could cut through bone. Most chefs would use special tools and protective gear to prepare it. Tae-young used just his hands and a simple knife. He knew exactly where to cut to avoid the metal spikes. His knife moved like lightning, slicing through the tough meat with perfect precision. He worked faster than most warriors could fight. Every cut was clean and exact. "Hey, Taeyong," called another human. This one was a cargo worker named Nain. She had metal arms attached to her shoulders, cybernetic implants that made her stronger. "Can you make some of that spicy soup tonight?" "The Zephyrians love it." "Sure thing," Taeyong replied, not looking up from his work. "But I'll make it mild for them. They can't handle real spice like we can." Nain laughed. "Remember when that Klaxon trader tried to eat your special hot sauce? He was crying for an hour?" "His species has sensitive tongues," Taeyong said with a smile. "We humans eat things that would kill most aliens." Kythera's eyes widened. Humans ate poison for fun? He had seen Taeyong add red powder to the soup powder that made Kythera's nose burn just from smelling it. The humans called it spice and seemed to enjoy it. The next day, Kythera decided to test the humans. He wanted to see how they would react to real danger. He found Han-Wu working alone in the lower maintenance section. The human was fixing a power coupling that supplied energy to the station's life support systems. It was dangerous work. If something went wrong, the entire section could lose oxygen. Kythera used his claws to scratch a small hole in a nearby power line. Electricity began to arc through the air, creating bright flashes and dangerous sparks. The smell of burning metal filled the air. Most aliens would have run away screaming. But Han-Wu just looked up at the sparking wire and sighed. "Not again," he said quietly. He calmly put down his tools and walked to an emergency panel on the wall, pressed a button that cut power to the damaged line. The spark stopped. Then he went to a supply closet and got a repair kit. Han-Wu put on protective gloves and started fixing the wire. He worked steadily, not rushing or panicking. His hands didn't shake. His breathing stayed normal. He fixed the damage like it was just another part of his job. "There we go," he said when he finished. "Good as new." Kythera was amazed. The human had faced a deadly situation and treated it like a minor inconvenience. Where was the fear? Where was the panic? How could any creature be so calm when facing death? Later that day, something happened that changed everything. A cargo bay in Section C had a catastrophic failure. The outer wall cracked and air began rushing out into space. If the crack got bigger, everyone in that section would die. Alarms started blaring throughout the station. Emergency lights flashed red. Over the intercom system, a voice announced, "Hull breach in Section C, all personnel evacuate immediately." Kythera watched from a safe distance as aliens ran in panic. Klaxons clicked and buzzed in terror. Zephyrians floated away as fast as they could. Even the strong Nexari moved quickly to escape, but the humans ran toward the danger, not away from it. Nayin was the first to reach the breach. She looked at the crack in the wall and didn't hesitate. She pressed her body against it and grabbed the edges with her cybernetic arms. Her metal fingers dug into the wall, and she pulled with all her strength. The crack stopped growing. "I can't hold this forever," Nayan shouted over the sound of rushing air. "You won't have to," came a calm voice. Han-Wu appeared, wearing a spacesuit and carrying a repair kit. He moved carefully but quickly, setting up a force field generator next to the breach. Other humans arrived to help, Jiwan bringing emergency supplies, Taeyong helping to evacuate the last few aliens from the danger zone. They worked together like a team of warriors, each knowing exactly what to do. There was no confusion, no arguing, no panic. They moved with the precision of a military unit. In 15 minutes, the breach was sealed. The section was safe. The humans had saved everyone. Kythera stared in shock. He had never seen anything like it. These soft, weak creatures had run into mortal danger without hesitation. They had worked together to fight death itself, and they had won. For the first time in his life, the great hunter Kythera felt something that no Vorthok had ever felt before. He felt afraid, not of the humans themselves, but of what they represented. These weren't prey animals. These were something else entirely, something that his hunting instincts didn't understand, something that made him want to step back and reconsider everything he thought he knew about predators and prey. Kythera couldn't sleep that night. He kept thinking about what he had seen. The humans had run toward danger instead of away from it. They had worked together to save lives without being asked. They'd shown no fear in the face of death. This was not normal prey behavior. The next morning, Kilthera decided to test the humans more directly. He wanted to see how they would react when faced with real threats. If they were truly dangerous, he needed to know. If they were just lucky, he would find out. He started small. While Hanwoo worked in the engineering section, Kilthara used his claws to loosen a support beam. Not enough to cause real damage, but enough to make it dangerous. If the human was truly alert, he would notice the problem before it became deadly. He and Wu walked into the room and stopped. He looked around slowly, his eyes scanning the ceiling and walls. After a moment, he walked directly to the loose beam and examined it. "That's not right," he said to himself. He called for backup and fixed the beam properly. He didn't seem worried or scared. He just did what needed to be done. Kilthera tried again in the cafeteria. He'd tampered with the food preparation machine. Making it overheat, the machine began to smoke and spark. Most aliens would have run away screaming. Taeyong noticed the smoke immediately. He turned off the machine, grabbed a fire extinguisher, and put out the small fire. Then he opened the machine and found the exact problem. "Someone has been messing with my equipment," he said quietly. His voice was calm, but there was something dangerous in his eyes. Kilthara felt a chill run down his spine. The human wasn't afraid. He was angry. The alien hunter decided to try something bigger. He caused a minor power failure in the residential section. The lights went out, and the air recycling system stopped working. In the darkness, most species would panic, but the humans didn't panic. They immediately switched to emergency protocols. Flashlights appeared in their hands. They moved through the dark corridors with confidence, checking on other species and making sure everyone was safe. A human named Seojin took charge. He was older than the others, with gray hair and scars on his hands. He wore a security uniform, but he moved like a soldier. "Jiwon, check the power grid," Seojin ordered. "Namjoon, get the backup generators online. Kuna, make sure the civilians stay calm." The humans followed his orders without question. They worked quickly and efficiently, like they had done this many times before. Within 30 minutes, the power was restored. But Seojin didn't seem satisfied. He stood in the corridor looking around with sharp eyes. "This wasn't an accident," he said to Jiwon. "Someone caused this failure on purpose." "You think we have a saboteur?" Jiwon asked. "I think we have a visitor who doesn't understand the rules," Seojin replied. Kilthara felt his blood turn cold. How did the human know? That afternoon, Kilthara decided to test his stealth abilities directly. He would stalk one of the humans and see how close he could get without being detected. He chose Hyen Wu because the young engineer seemed the most harmless. He followed Hyen Wu through the station's lower levels. The human was working on some complicated repair job in a tunnel far from the main areas. It was the perfect place for a hunt. Kilthera moved silently through the shadows, getting closer and closer. His claws made no sound on the metal floor. His breathing was perfectly controlled. He was only 10 feet away from the human now. This was it. This was the moment he would strike. But then Hyen Wu stopped working. He put down his tools and spoke without turning around. "I know you're there," he said calmly. "You've been following me for the past hour." Kilthara froze. This was impossible. No creature had ever detected him when he was hunting. His stealth abilities were perfect. "You can come out," Hyen Wu continued. "I'm not going to hurt you." Slowly, Kilthera stepped out of the shadows. His yellow eyes met Hyen Wu's brown ones. The human showed no fear, no surprise. He just looked tired. "You're the one who's been causing the accidents," Hyen Wu said. It wasn't a question. Kilthara said nothing. He was too shocked to speak. "My name is Hyen Wu," the human said. "What's yours?" "Kilthera." The alien hunter replied automatically. "Nice to meet you, Kilthera. You're Vorthok, right? I've heard about your people. Great hunters." Hyen Wu sat down on a metal crate and looked at Kilthera with curious eyes. "So what's this about?" he asked. "Are you here to hunt us?" Kilthera found his voice. "How did you know I was there? Stealth is perfect." Hyen Wu smiled. "You smell different from the station's usual scents. Your breathing changes the air." Flow in the tunnels. You've been watching us for days, we noticed. We, the human crew. We've been tracking your movement since you arrived. You're good at hiding, but we're good at finding. Before Kilthara could respond, footsteps echoed through the tunnel. Seochin appeared, followed by Jiwan and 2 other humans. They didn't have weapons, but they moved with the confidence of trained fighters. Everything okay here, Hyanwu? Seokajin asked. Just having a conversation, Hyanwu replied. Kilthara, these are my friends. Sukjin is head of security. Seokjin studied Kilthara with experienced eyes. You're the one who's been testing us, he said. The loose beam, the machine malfunction, the power failure. You wanted to see how we'd react. I wanted to understand, Kilthara said. Your species. Is ... different? Different how? Asked Juan. You don't act like prey. You don't show fear. You run toward danger instead of away from it. I don't understand what you are. Seogajin and the others exchanged glances. Then Seogajin sat down across. From Kilthara. We're human, he said simply. We come from a world called Earth. And yes, we're different from most species you've probably met. How? We come from a dangerous place, Seokjin explained. On Earth, everything tried to kill us. The weather, the animals, the plants even. The ground itself, we had to become strong to survive. But you look so weak, Kilthara said. That's the point, Hyanwu said. We learned that the best way to survive wasn't to look dangerous. It was to be dangerous when we needed to be. We're persistence hunters, Guan added. Don't give up. We don't quit. Keep going until the job is done. Kilthara felt something shift inside him. These humans weren't prey. They weren't even normal predators. They were something else entirely. What do you want from me? He asked. Nothing, Seojin said. But we want to make something clear. This station is under our protection. All the species here, the Klaxons, the Zephyrians, the Nexari, they're under our care. And we won't let anyone hunt them, even me. Especially you, Seochin said quietly. Because you're good enough to actually be a threat. Kilthara looked around at the humans surrounding him. They weren't threatening him, but he could feel the danger radiating from them. They were predators, just like him. They had chosen to use their hunting skills for protection instead of killing. For the first time in his life, Kilthara wondered if there might be more to existence than just the hunt. Kilthara stared at the humans surrounding him. His hunter's instincts were screaming warnings, but not in the way they usually did. These weren't prey animals to be avoided. These were fellow predators, dangerous ones. I don't understand, he said finally. If you're hunters like me, why do you protect the weak species? Why don't you hunt them? Seokjin smiled, but it wasn't a happy smile. It's a long story. Do you really want to know? Yes, then come with us. But first, you need to promise something. No more testing. No more accidents. No more hunting on this station. Kilthara thought about it. His pride told him to refuse to fight these humans and prove he was the better hunter. But his curiosity was stronger than his pride. I promise, he said. They walked to the station's main conference room. Other humans were already there waiting. Kilthara recognized some of them. Dayun from the science lab, Taeyun from the kitchen, Namjoon the chief engineer. There were others he hadn't seen before. A young human named Yuna sat across from him. She had kind eyes, but something sharp behind them. Her uniform said psychology, interspecies, relations. Before we tell you about humans, Yuna said, tell us about your people. What makes a good hunter on your world? Kilthara straightened with pride. Strength, speed, sharp claws and teeth. The ability to track prey for days without rest. We are the apex predators of our world. What do you hunt? Everything. Great beasts with armor like metal. Fast creatures that can run faster than sound. Flying things with poison claws. All of them fear the Vorthok, and you hunt alone. Always. True hunter needs no help. The humans looked at each other. Some of them seemed sad. That's where you're wrong, said Namjoon. The best hunters don't hunt alone. They hunt in packs. Packs are for weak creatures, Kilthara said. Are they? Dayun asked. She opened a computer screen and showed him pictures. This is Earth, Our homeworld. Look at it. Kilthera looked. At the images, he saw a blue and green planet covered in clouds. It looked peaceful and beautiful. It looked soft, he said. Look closer, Diyun said. Now Kilthara saw huge storms. Now Kilthara saw huge storms that could destroy entire cities. Mountains that spit fire and melted rock. Oceans with waves tall as buildings. Ice sheets that covered whole continents. The weather on Earth tries to kill everything, Diyun explained. Storms, earthquakes, floods, droughts. The planet itself is a predator. She showed him more pictures. Animals with huge teeth and claws. Tiny creatures whose bite could kill in seconds. Plants that ate meat. Diseases that spread faster than wildfire. Everything on Earth is dangerous, she continued. The big animals, the small animals, even the plants. Our world is a death trap, but you survived, Kilthara said. We did more than survive, said Hosiak, the communications officer. We won. We became the most dangerous predators on the most dangerous planet in the galaxy. How? By working together. Seokjin said, humans are pack hunters. We're not the strongest or the fastest, but we're the best at cooperating. Diyun showed him pictures of early humans. They looked weak and small, with no claws or fangs. Our ancestors were prey animals, she said. Everything on Earth was bigger and stronger than us, so we learned to hunt in groups. We learned to make tools. We learned to think and plan. We became persistent hunters, added Soyen, the medical officer. We would chase animals for days and days until they collapsed from exhaustion. We never gave up, and we learned to kill from a distance, said Jungkook, a young engineer. We made spears and arrows and later guns. We didn't need to get close to our prey. Kilthera was starting to understand. We became better hunters. By being weaker? In a way? Yes, Yuna said. Being physically weak forced us to become mentally strong. We had to be smarter than everything that wanted to kill us. But the most important thing, Seokjin said, is that we learn to protect each other. A human alone is weak, but humans together are unstoppable. Doyoon showed him more pictures. Humans building cities. Humans creating art and music. Humans exploring space. We didn't just survive on Earth, she said. We conquered it. It became so successful that we ran out of things to hunt. So we decided to leave our world and explore the galaxy. Yet you still hunt, Kilthera said. We hunt when we have to, Hyenwu said.
Right.
To protect ourselves or others. But we learned that there are better things to do than just kill. Like what? Build things, create things, help other species grow and learn. We found out that working together with other species is more interesting than hunting them. Kilthera thought about this. On his world, the Vorthok were the strongest, so they hunted everything else. But what happened when you were so good at hunting that nothing was? Left to hunt? What about the weak species on this station? Asked. The Klaxons? The Zephyrians? They can't fight back. That's exactly why we protect them, Jiwon said. They're not weak because they're stupid. They're weak because they come from safe worlds where they didn't need to become killers. They have other skills, Namjoon explained. The Klaxons are amazing at organizing and planning. Zephyrians can solve mathematical problems that would take us years to figure out. The Nexari can build technology we can't even imagine. Every species is good at something, Taeyang said. When we work together, we're all stronger. But what if they betray you? Kilthara asked. Some might, Seokshin said. Most won't. When you help someone, they usually want to help you back. It's a better way to live than just taking what you want by force. Kilthara looked around the room at all the humans. They were watching him with patient eyes. They weren't trying to convince him or threaten him. They were just sharing their truth. Your species confuses me, he said finally. We confuse ourselves sometimes, Yuna said with a smile. Being human is complicated. Can I ask you something? Doyoon said. What will you do now? We came here to hunt, but there's no hunting allowed on this station. Kilthera sat quietly. For a long moment, his whole life had been about the hunt. It was what made him who he was. But these humans had shown him something different. A way to be strong without being a killer. I don't know, he said honestly. I've never thought about doing anything else. You don't have to decide right now, Seokjin said. Thinking you're welcome to stay on the station, Just remember your promise. No hunting. I remember, Kilthera said. As the meeting ended and the humans began to leave, Hyanwu approached him. If you want to talk more, he said, I'm usually in the engineering section. I could show you how we build things instead of just destroying them. Kilthera nodded. For the first time in his life, he was curious about something other than hunting. Maybe there was more to existence than just being the strongest predator. Maybe there was something called purpose. 3 days passed. Kilthara spent most of his time thinking about what the humans had told him. He walked through the station's corridors, watching the different species work together. For the first time, he tried to see them not as prey, but as individuals with their own skills and purposes. The Klaxons really were amazing organizers. He watched them coordinate the loading of cargo ships with perfect timing. Every box, every container went to exactly the right place at exactly the right time. The Zephyrians solved problems that hurt his head just thinking about them. He saw one of them help a Nexari engineer fix a computer that controlled the stations. Navigation. The math they used was beyond anything Kilthera could understand. The Nexari themselves were incredible builders. Their cybernetic arms could work on tiny circuits or lift heavy machinery with equal skill. They never got tired. Never. Made mistakes, but it was the humans who made it all work together. They spoke the languages of all the different species. They understood what each group needed and helped them get it. They solved arguments before they became fights. On the 4th day, Kilthara made a decision. He went to find Hyanwu in the engineering section. I want to learn, he said simply. Hyanwu looked up from a complicated machine he was fixing. Learn what? How to build instead of destroy. How to protect instead of hunt. How to be useful like you humans. Hyanwu smiled. Building is harder than hunting. Are you sure you're ready for that? I think so, Kilthera said, but I don't know where to start. Start with this, Hyanwu said, handing him a wrench. Help me fix this water recycler. The Zephyrian quarter is having problems with their water supply. Kilthara took the tool. It felt strange in his claws, which were made for tearing and cutting, not for building. But he tried to help at first. Everything went wrong. His claws were too sharp and kept cutting through wires. His strength was too much, and he broke delicate parts. His size made it hard to fit into small spaces. This is impossible, Kilthera said after an hour of failures. I'm built for hunting, not this. You're built for problem solving, Hyanwu said patiently. Hunting is just one kind of problem. This is another kind. But I keep breaking things. So did I when I started. Look at this. Hyanwu showed him a scar on his hand. I cut myself. On sharp metal, my first day. This one he pointed to another scar. I got electrocuted because I forgot to turn off the power. You got hurt? Many times. Learning new skills is dangerous, but it's worth it. They worked together for several hours. Slowly, Kilthara began to understand. He learned to control his strength, found ways to use his claws carefully instead of roughly. He discovered that his hunting patience was perfect for solving mechanical problems. When they finished, clean water flowed through the pipes again. We did it, Hyanwu said. We did it, Kilthara repeated. The words felt strange, but good. That evening, there was trouble in the station. A group of pirates tried to attack a cargo ship that was docked at the station. They had weapons in numbers, and they thought the peaceful station would be easy prey. They were very wrong, Kilthera was in the cantina with Taeyang when the alarm sounded. Security alert, armed intruders in docking bay 7. Stay here, Taeyang said, reaching under his counter for something. What are you doing? Kilthera asked. Taeyang pulled out a combat knife that looked like it could cut through steel. Going to work? I'm coming with you. He promised no hunting on this station. This isn't hunting, Kilthera said, understanding something new. This is protecting. They ran to the docking bay together. The scene there was chaos. 6 pirates with energy weapons were trying to break into a cargo ship. The ship's crew, 3 peaceful Klaxons, were trapped inside, too scared to come out. Seokjin and his security team were already there, but they were outnumbered. The pirates had better weapons and were using the cargo containers as cover. We need to get behind them, Seokjin said into his communicator. But there's no way to reach them without crossing open ground. Yes, there is, Kilthara said. Before, Anyone could stop him. The Vorthok hunter moved. But he wasn't hunting to kill, he was hunting to save. His natural stealth let him move through the shadows without being seen. His climbing skills let him scale the walls and move along the ceiling. His speed let him cross distances faster than the pirates could react. In 30 seconds, Kilthara was behind the pirates. But instead of using his claws to kill, he used them to cut the power lines to their weapons. Instead of tearing their throats, he knocked them unconscious with careful strikes. When the security team reached them, all 6 pirates were alive, but defeated. "Nice work, Seokjin," said to Kilthara. "You could have killed them all. Killing them wouldn't have saved the Klaxons any faster," Kilthara replied. "And dead pirates can't learn to do better." Seokjin stared at him for a moment, then smiled. "You're starting to think like a human." Later that night, Minho, the station administrator, called Kilthara to his office. Minho was an older human with wise eyes and gray hair. "I've been hearing interesting things about you," Minho said. "Good things or bad things?" "Good things. Heian-Woo says you're learning to build. Seokjin says you helped stop the pirates without killing anyone. Taeyong says you're curious about cooking." "I am curious about many things now," Kilthara admitted. "Would you be curious about a job?" Kilthara's eyes widened. "A job? We could use someone with your skills on our security team. Someone who can think like a predator, but act like a protector. Someone who understands how hunters think, because he used to be one. You want me to work here? On this station? Only if you want to. It won't be easy. You'll have to learn many new things. You'll have to work with species you once thought of. As prey, you'll have to put their safety before your own hunting instincts." Kilthara thought about this. A few weeks ago, he had come to this station to hunt. Now he was being offered a chance to protect the very creatures he had wanted to kill. What would I do? Help keep the station safe. Train our security teams in hunting and tracking. Teach us how predators think so we can better protect against them. And when necessary, use your skills to stop the real threats. Like the pirates today? Exactly like the pirates today. Kilthara looked out the office window at the station's busy corridors. He saw Klaxons and Zephyrians and Nexori going about their daily lives, safe and peaceful. He saw humans working alongside them all, making sure everything ran smoothly. "I accept," he said. "Good," Minho said. "But I have to ask, what changed your mind? Why did you stop wanting to hunt?" Kilthara thought about this for a long moment. "I learned that there are different kinds of strength," he said finally. "The strength to kill is easy. Any animal can kill. But the strength to protect, to build, to help others become better, that's harder. That's what makes someone truly powerful. And I want to be truly powerful. Not just another predator, but something more, something better." Minho smiled. "Welcome to the team, Kilthara." As Kilthara left the office, he passed Heian-Woo in the corridor. "I heard the good news," Heian-Woo said. "Ready for your first day as a protector instead of a hunter?" "I'm ready," Kilthara said. "But I have a question." "What's that? Will you teach me more about building things? I think I'd like to learn how to fix more than just water recyclers." Heian-Woo grinned. "I'd be happy to. We can start tomorrow. There's always something that needs fixing on a space station." As they walked together toward the engineering section, Kilthara felt something he had never experienced before. The thrill of the hunt, or the satisfaction of a kill. It was something deeper and more lasting. It was the joy of belonging somewhere, of being part of something bigger than himself, of using his skills to make life better for others instead of just taking what he wanted. For the first time in his life, the great hunter Kilthara was truly happy.